All right. We're back in camera land today with Group C of the Pigsty Festival 2.0. We've got a hero up against Time. I asked him, why is he on this account name? He said, UFC World Champion. And I was like, wow, our little StarCraft nerd Terran player apparently likes watching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gods choke people out. Down here in the bottom left side, representing Kaizi Gaming, it is Time. His opponent in the top right, the big favorite for the entire group, Dragon Phoenix Gaming's hero. Hero is a monster, of course, and he is by far the favorite to go out in this group. We've also got Cure and a Laser will be facing off in the other first opening match of the group. We are using the GSL format. Double elimination to see who gets out, all best of 3 series. Now, interestingly enough, in the vetoes, Hero has actually really updated his vetoes compared to what other Protoss players like to take out this map sometimes, and they really like to play Stargazers, and they almost always leave Moondance in. Hero said, no. Moondance is way too good for Terran. It's too short of rush distance, and there's too much drop angles. It's impossible to defend. He also vetoed Stargazers because, once again, that drop angle, the moment you lose the Watchtower, you cannot control the Terran movement. There is no way to intercept drops on that map. So Hero has really shown that he does not want to play that. He's willing to play on these small, tight, cramped maps like Waterfall, Inside Out, and map 2 is actually Tropical Sacrifice, which is his map pick. Third map will be Inside Out if we go to the deciding match. Time, not opening up with the double gas. That's interesting. So many of the players over there in Korea, Maru, of course, leading the charge, are always going for the double gas opening. But Time, he's like, nah, I'm happy to just open up with an expand, and I think that's a good way to mix it up. Especially with these short rush distance maps, but oh, dude. Oh, Time really messing up here. He's got to get that command center started, man. Oh, this is really huge delay. And he does end up building the command center, but so late. Honestly, if he didn't build that in Vision, I, as Hero, would be worried that he's got a proxy barrack somewhere and this is like a fake out. Because that is such a huge delay on that command center. So, big mistake there for him. Adepts coming in as well. Nexus on the way. Looks like it will be a Stargate opening for Hero. Now, I'd imagine an Oracle, but Phoenix is viable here. Personally, Phoenix is more defensive, though, and I feel like on such a small map, you really want the Oracle to immediately just hit your opponent. It's actually, you know, what's really interesting is we don't see Oracle into Blink very much anymore, but that's always been such a solid way to play. I wonder if Hero brings that one back this game. Second Adept does start up. Notice he's saving his chrono boosts for apparently probes and the Oracle. He's got 2 chronos saved. I think he'll drop one immediately. And the next one will go into the Oracle as soon as that Stargate does finish. 3 Marines are out. Factory now finishing here. As much as the delayed command center did hurt Time's opening, everything else seems to be going perfectly in terms of just building everything, keeping his production going. But the delay on the command center did supply block him there for just a moment on 31. Did delay an SCV by a few seconds. 5 Marines are now out. One of them did take a single Adept hit. Remember, it's only 22 damage a hit, so does take 3 of those to finish the Marine. And there we go. Nice engage. Pushes that Adept back. Chips a bit of the paint off her as well. And she does take a bit of damage. It is Phoenix first for Hero. And very keen to scout because Hero does not know if this is a 3 racks or not. So this Phoenix is going to fly in behind these Marines. And he's going to confirm, what the hell am I up against?
Teleport successful.
There we go. That looks like a Widow Mine drop. He even takes a shot from one of the Widow Mines. That's a good start for Time. Time might not want to actually send the Widow Mine drop across. Revealing the Phoenix is not so effective. Hero, though, is going to play 2-base Phoenix Colossus, a very conservative style. And with all the madness that Terran players are throwing out these days, I don't blame him. I am telling you, I've been playing a lot of PvT, and I've had my head just thrown through a ringer trying to figure out all the thousands of builds they do. Time going to go for the 8 Marine drop while keeping the Widow Mines on the defensive. Poking around with this, a very good idea, but if he does get caught by the Phoenix, there's no way home. 3 Marines and a Widow Mine in the mineral line should be enough to defend those Phoenix. 1 more Widow Mine splash would do big damage. And knowing that the Phoenix are on his side of the map, he will dive with that drop. Tank is about to pop out, telling us that Time wants to be incredibly aggressive in the follow-up. Seeing that Siege Tank, Hero's got to realize that this is a very scary 2-base push that's almost certainly going to be coming his way in about a minute's time. And even now, he's not ready for it. He's got 2 Adepts, 4 Phoenix, but they're all out of position. Time has threaded the needle, and this is why you never count Time out. Gets in there, gets 2 probes, instantly pulls back. A very mature decision to not go for more damage. He could have got more probes, but it would have come at the cost of his Marines and drop. But wait, oh god, if he gets hunted down, that would be really bad for him. Apologies for the observing there. Phoenix does take a bit of focus fire. The rest of the army's here with the Viking, Widowmine, and the tank coming out. hero has to back off. He's got an Immortal out, and he does have a battery on the natural. He's trying to build another Immortal, but he is a little supply blocked. Adepts are going to shade on past and try to intercept the rally, but 4 SCVs and a Siege Tank, more than a match for those Adepts. And this is such a powerful attack timing. The Robo in the wall, it helps against Hellion run-bys, but it also means it's very exposed. Tank Siege is up very early, does get a shot off. The Widowmine not quite able to fire. Meanwhile, the Marines starting to march forward. Phoenix getting 1, 2, 3 Marine lifts. Great grab there by hero. Now the Adepts have gone down. More tanks, more Marines are coming forward. Viking production non-stop. The Colossus, the first one's about to start. We need to see time starting to siege on this Robo. We need to see him starting to put some more pressure on. Battery overcharge comes in, and that's going to buy hero a little bit of time. 11 seconds is how long battery overcharge lasts. That's going to keep his Immortals well healed up in the meantime, but you can see even there, he's already lost the barriers and some of the hit points on that. 3 batteries are up behind. If hero doesn't get the Colossus out, he's screwed. He needs to start healing that Robo right now. The Vikings, the Widowmines, and the Marines gun down one of the Phoenix. Hero is under pressure here at the very start of this series. The King of China letting the ferocity of his build orders be known. Every single Phoenix goes down. The Immortal cannot get down that ramp. One of the Immortals does fall. The Colossus manages to get out, but the Robo goes down, and with it, the Disruptor production. There's no Twilight Council. He's got 2 gates, a Stargate building Phoenix. He's making unupgraded Zealots. This is not an army that can breach a ramp. He needs charge. He needs a Warp Prism, but he doesn't have the ability to make either of those. He's got to start the tech from scratch. And behind it, +1 attacks on the way. Stim is on the way. That's right. Time is building a 3rd command center as well. He's almost even on workers. This is a beautiful push for Time. 4 siege tanks. For those who don't know, tanks do 70 damage. Colossus full life is 350. So 5 siege tanks will put a Colossus on 1 hit point. This Colossus has already lost some hit points, so it's gonna go down to just 5. Those tanks are gonna try and focus the Colossus. If it ever goes in range, it'll go down. But oh, the Marines do take 1, 2, 3 big volleys from it. The Viking trying to fight with that Phoenix. Another Phoenix does come in. Nice Widowmine shot to take it down. Not many Vikings left over right now. Tanks are still shelling the mineral line. The Marines have to be careful. You've got to keep these Marines alive here. Siege tank is a little far forward. Oh, the Immortal does go down. The Phoenix lift is gone. Slow Zealots cascading in, but notice the Colossus is already gone. And Time with a spectacular build order, punishing the Robo in the wall. This is something we have seen biting Protoss players in the butt so much recently. That Robo up front gets you in trouble on these tiny maps. Time wins his map. All right, a rude awakening there, but it was going to be the hardest map out of these 3. Now going on to his map pick, Tropical Sacrifice. Let's see what Dragon Phoenix Gaming hero has in store for us. His opponent, Time. That was a really nice opening. The Marine drop just pulling the Phoenix back temporarily and then just shoving with a big old push. The kind of, I think, frustrating thing was probably the supply block for hero. I do wonder if hero should have pulled probes to try to get out there to fight that. It's just one of those things where when you play Phoenix Colossus, you just don't have a lot of flexibility in how you fight. I feel like ideally the way hero engages that push is he's just a bit more consistent on making Adepts and Stalkers with his gateways. And when the army arrives, say imagine this is his ramp with the Robo over here. When the tank army gets to about this area, you want to jump on it, pick up the Widow Mines to gun those down quickly. You don't necessarily want to pick up the siege tanks because you actually want your Immortals to focus the tanks down really quickly. And you want to basically engage it before they're all sieged up and set up in a nice position. And if you can stop the Widow Mines from firing and use your Phoenix firepower to lower the Marine count very quickly, that can be really effective. But hero used up a lot of lifts off his Phoenix on SCVs, and he just didn't quite have the numbers. 2 of his Adepts tried to slow the push down, but he really needed those with his army to defend. Now, hero, he's down 1 game, he's on the edge of defeat, and he says this is the logical time to play with no probe scout. I kid you not, this man is a psychopath. He is a madman. Now, on the other hand, to play devil's advocate, I am a large fan of not scouting against Terran, because unless they're doing, say, a proxy 3 racks Marine all-in, there's very few things that kill you, because your Nexus is faster, your Gateway's faster, your Cybercore's earlier than normal. He went Cybercore before Nexus. This is an insanely fast Adept. simply because he saves minerals by not scouting early. And he is now going to check for proxies in the follow-up to that, as well as go across the map and just confirm if it's a one or... Actually, no, he's going to go proxy himself, isn't he? Yeah, I'm like, wait, this is hero we're talking about. Twilight Council is on the way. First Adept's out, second Adept on the way. No chrono boost on that, though. Looks like he's going to save his chronos for other stuff. Behind it is a factory into second gas for time. He likes this setup. Hero here, delaying this probe as much as possible. I think he's waiting for potentially Reaper Hellion to have moved out. Comes on in. He sees the command center almost done, and he says, oh, okay, it's just a 1-rax expand. So that was the only scout Hero was banking on in this game. Blink does start up. And Time, of course, is playing quite blind. Other than his SCV that saw the expansion, 3 Marines and nothing else. His Marines are looking for any proxies nearby. He's going for Widow Mines, building more Marines as well. Chrono boosts on the Blink going down. Second gateway. Now, the cool thing about this pylon is you can actually build a shield battery on the low ground to help defend your third base without having to have moved down there. You also could arguably put a battery there and still heal units on the low ground with a battery overcharge from up here. And you can see the Robo and the gate in general are just a little bit further away from the ramp if there is a similar push. Because so far, it's a very similar opening for the Terran, very different opening for the Protoss player. The ability to micro with Blink Stalkers and really wear down a push like that is very effective. Now, Time does like to just do the same thing over and over again when he finds something that works. And guess what? 2 Widow Mines, 9 Marines, a Medevac, now a Tech Lab on the factory. His opening looks pretty similar to that last game. He's building a bunker this time around. That is a change up. And I've got to say, looking at the way he's playing and his amount of vision, he is very wide open to Dark Templar drop. He would almost 100% just straight up lose the game to a DT drop. Even though he's going Tech Lab, and I think he will build a Raven, DT drop often hits you about 440, maybe 450 at the latest, so it'd be very difficult for him to deal with that, especially if he happens to have just dropped a mule. That being said, he's not dropping mules right now, so he might purposely be hanging on to his energy. This might be something where he's programmed this into his build, where he delays dropping mules at this time, just to get him through this window of time before the Raven pops out. If so, amazing attention to detail. Unfortunately, his Widow Mine drop flies in and awkwardly does the Abe Simpson and says, oh, what? A boudoir house? I meant to, isn't this a Denny's? Takes his hat off the coat rack and walks out of there. Young Bart just looking awkward. Not quite sure what happened. Robo Bay is on the way, so it's going to be 2-base Colossus behind this. But he's also looking for a third. It's not a very quick third, though. I do like the third location, Hero expanding in a straight line. The triangle base, obviously, until you take this fourth in front of it, you can get abused up here by drops that can sit in the dead space all day. Down here, much harder for drops to annoy you. There's still a bit of dead space for them to hide in, but they're not going to be in between 2 of your bases, so it's not as dangerous. Time still just hanging in his corner of the map. Very passive play from him this time around, even though the opening looked identical. And to be fair, I mean, you're up against someone who's got probes out, he's got observers out, he's got a beautiful ring of vision, and it makes sense for you to just keep that Widow Mine drop back and even bring it home. The double Widow Mine will stop any Warp Prism from causing you big trouble. And actually, it's a Disruptor first for Hero. This is what we call an Ambush Ruptor, guys. This is a Gambit. This is basically, he's going to try and catch... He says, look, Time doesn't see any of the map. He's turtling really hard. He's not fighting for map control. And how can I punish that? Well, this map has tall grass there, tall grass there. And there is nothing more dangerous than a big, throbbing Disruptor waiting behind that grass, ready to throw a surprising shot on you when you're not looking. So that's going to be Hero's game. Maybe on the ramp, potentially. He doesn't want to show it until Time is not looking. So the Disruptor's just going to kind of hang out somewhere out front the base. Medevac moving down the left side. Stalkers do blink in the main. Siege Tank already shoots one of them down, though. That combined with the Widow Mine looks like did kill one. Manages to take out a depot, potentially. He sets them on fire. Does not want to lose those Stalkers. And a nice blink to get out of there. 8 Marines with Stim are queued up to land in the main. This is a distraction. Time is queuing this up minutes ahead of time. The idea is that's going to hit the main, and that's going to distract Hero, so his army can just flood out the front, push across this map. And he does have a well-timed third command center, so it's not like he has to super commit. Oh my god, the balls, the balls, the balls, the balls, the balls! Oh my god! disgusting ambush there. He gets 8 Marines and 2 Marauders there. 9 kills on those 2 Disruptors. Oh, and you know what? I think it was seconds before Stim was finished, so he couldn't even Stim to answer it, even if he wanted to. Another Disruptor shot comes out, and this is the nastiness of hero in action. Auto turrets behind the 3rd, though, and a Marine drop with Stim inside the main base. That Marine drop is going to get gunned down. He does save. Okay, 6 of the Marines, not bad. And the auto turrets from the Raven. The Raven is on so many kills. 5 kills, 6 kills. And unfortunately for him, the Disruptor does start tanking. Raven still hanging out in an area where the Stalkers could get on top of it. But that was a lovely move by a hero who was not significantly ahead on income, but he used the map control to his favor. Now, right now, this probe is very, very afraid, but the Medevac spots it, and the Widowbite does fire. Better than losing a Stalker, I suppose. And Stalker, Zealot, Disruptor coming forward. 12 Stalkers, 8 Zealots, 4 Disruptors. There's only 1 Siege tank. 4 Marauders, 17 Marines. This is a vulnerable moment in the game. And with the Raven not here, he's bringing it home, but there's an Observer sees everything. The bio goes forward. Oh man, these Disruptors could be amazing. Big boomies, 5 SCVs, 2 Marauders go down to one of the shots as well. There might not be that many Zealots, but do you even need that many Zealots? Beautiful attack timing from hero. And he says a ball that has not been seen is a dangerous ball. Oh, I knew he was a fan of my country, playing our national sport, sneaky nuts there, and it pays off in a big way. A bit of a tricky play there, but he says, hey, if you've got no map vision, I'll take advantage of it with the surprise tactics. A lovely ambush, getting him back in the series. Going to a map, though, which is definitely going to have some more of those scary Terran pushes potentially coming out here. Kaisi Gaming's Time in the top right. Probe moving across the map very early. So this is a pre-pylon scout, guys. This is the 12 probe scout. Zest popularized this, especially on Beckett, really small maps. Ideally, you block the barracks, but I think he might have sent it a second too late, so he doesn't get to block the barracks. If you block the barracks for even 1 or 2 seconds, it delays the Reaper enough that you can actually go Nexus before Cybercore, and the probe has kind of occupies your opponent for so long that they can't really get the barracks up. He did, of course, get a bit of damage in, and he could potentially circle around. Nice movement by hero. He doesn't quite get his shields back to max, but a good rotation from Time. He says, yeah, no screwing with that. Just pull the weak one away. And he is playing a double gas opening. Meanwhile, behind this, gateway gas, and we should see a probe go down to take the natural. What I love about hero is he is the opposite of a planning and methodical player. Whenever I watch Showtime Big Gabe, it's all about German planning and efficiency. And whenever I watch hero, it's just like watching a car crash somehow come out on top every single time. It's incredible. He just finds a way to get it done in the heat of the action. Nexus does go down. It's going to go back up. So Cybercore before Nexus. Interesting pylon placement. So he's going to actually set up a wall there in case Hellion Reaper tries to run in, maybe. It's also going to allow him to build his tech in a bit of a safer position than the natural, as he's no doubt got that tank push, taking out his Robo as a very traumatic memory in his mind. Reactor is there, factory as well. Notice he's pulled off gas, so we will see the quick expansion. Does he go for it on the high ground or the low ground? Probably high ground, since he's gone for the reactor. Can't contest the Protoss early Adepts and Stalkers with just 1 Reaper. A lot of Terrans opting for this recently. Reaper comes in, sees the Nexus. He's going to try and jump up onto the high ground, but there's a Stalker waiting for him. Once again, jumps up, jumps down. Stalker first usually convinces you that you're playing against a Twilight opening, but in fact it's Robo first. Hero may actually go for a classic style, so something that's been coming back against these 2 gas openings. I've been trying it as well, though I'm very rusty on it. And I saw a few different pros try this at the top level, and that's what inspired me to do it. I think Trigger might have been experimenting with it. I know Probe was in the Oceanic scene. Essentially, it's just going back to 2-base Colossus, a really old school style where you just make observers and get good map vision. However, there's only 2 on each gas. But he's chronoing probes. What, is it 4-gate? Oh, he's going to do the classic Stalker pressure. Okay, so he's going to make an Observer, and then he's going to do a 4 Stalker drop. But right now, there are 3 Stalkers, which is plenty to defend this. 2 Hellions and 2 Reapers, or 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions coming forward. He's going to do the split push. Reapers in the main, Hellions in the natural. He's already split up to defend it, though. hero, he pulls every single Stalker. Uh-oh. The Hellions is where the real damage could happen. A 4th Stalker pops out. Having 4 Stalkers this early is pretty damn incredible. Already 4 probes goes down. Make it 5. This is actually incredible damage. 8 probes. 9 probes go down and 2 Hellions get out. Oh, Time fans are feeling pretty good right now. Hero fans, they've got tears dripping down their cheeks. This counterattack needs to do big damage. He's got a lot of Stalkers. He's got a Warp Prism soon enough. The Hellions are going to run in for a bit of a counterattack. Luckily for Hero, he did leave 1 Stalker at home. Otherwise, he'd lose so many probes here. But looks like it'll only be 1 probe for this. And, oh, he's going to at least delay a little bit. He sees just 3 gateways and a Robo does time. Time's got a tank. He's got 3 Marines in a bunker. If that second tank, he's got to siege that in a very conservative position. There we go. And every Marine that comes out is sacred. I don't think he can kill him with the Stalker drop. A Twilight Council's on the way. He's got a single Adept and 3 Stalkers. I mean, that's not a very imposing counter drop, is it? He can definitely pick off a few Marines and SCVs, but Time has got to get to work. Hero, sorry, has got to get to work. Time is only down a few SCVs, and he's way ahead on the upgrades. He's building towards a vicious 2-base push. 1 Marine goes down. Hero, show us that fantastic micro, mate. The Stalker gets juggled there very nicely. The Adept does go down, but he's focused down a bunch of the Marines. So 4 Marines have gone down. Ooh, the Prism does take some damage there. Gonna have to go back and hide in the corner. Templar Archives, of course, going down. The logical choice here is Psystorm. Psystorm is one of the most drastic pieces of splash damage in the game. Hard for your opponent to dodge unless they pre-split. It can turn a game around always. Is it a sure thing? No, but you've already got a Warp Prism out, so going for that would make a lot of sense. He might just play a Mortal Sentry Archon as well. That's an army that can definitely fight very well, but this locks him on 2-base. Notice he can't afford anything else. He's building more gateways. On the other hand, he does see everything. Right now, Hero is the Pervert Master. He's got 2 observers seeing everything that Time is doing. Perving, not usually a skill in real life that we really advocate for, but in this case, it is quite effective. Stim and Shields is already finished. He's going across with an Immortal drop, trying to make Archon Zealot. Behind this, he's going to drop a battery. Well, Prism, Immortal, Archon, very good for stopping a 2-base push. Time might be a little too obvious with what he's going for here, but look at that Immortal. If he could come in and grab some of the tanks, that would be huge. He's going to go straight for the production, his Hero, and he's going to try and hang on with Archons and batteries. He tries to force field to buy time, but all the bio slips around it. The Sentry falls there. The Archon and the Zealot come forward. Hero has to get back to the battery. The batteries aren't quite ready just yet. Oh my god, he's so outnumbered. The Immortal drop goes in, and they are doing very well. Marines and SCVs will eventually overwhelm it, but look at this push. The batteries will not be able to get up. The Probe Bull is desperate, and Time, with vicious aggression in every single one of these games, gets on in there, and off the back of a lovely early game pressure, annihilates Hero. The split on the Reaper Hellions at the start, gets the 9 probes, gets his Hellions out, and then he just finishes it off with a beautiful 2-base push, a huge upset to start Group C.